Hi, this is Mustang Bob. Today I want to talk a little bit about car covers for your vintage Mustang. I mostly deal in 65 to 68, and I've been playing with some of these covers the last few years. The company I've been buying them from is called Covercraft, and the lowest version they have is for indoor use only, and it's called the Desktop, and I've had very good luck with that one. For limited service outdoors, not too much sun, I've been trying the Block-It brand and had reasonable success. I've gotten 3 years out of one of them. But for really severe outdoor use, bright sun, as in Southern California or Arizona, I wouldn't recommend the Block-It. I'd recommend going up to a stronger cover. And the one I'm trying now is called the Sunbrella, and it seems to be really good for high sun, and I'm sure I'll get at least 3 or 4 years out of it. So I'll show you these different covers that I've tested, and maybe one of them will be the right application for you. This is a Covercraft Desktop, which is for indoor use, and it will last indefinitely as long as you keep it dry, and of course if it's inside it's not going to be subject to wind and dust. This is for a 68 Mustang, and it's for a coupe, and it fits very nicely. It's a paper type layered material, so it breathes, and the inside of the car stays nice and dry, so you won't get mildew or mold. And it comes with 2 mirror pockets, which is nice. You have to put the hole for the antenna in, but they provide the grommet for that, and it's pretty easy to put in. And it covers the car very nicely, has a little bit of padding on it so that if somebody bumps up against your car it's not going to do any damage. And I'm very happy with it. It comes with a 3-year warranty, but they last indefinitely if you just use them inside. You don't have to really wash them because if it's in your garage it's not going to get very dusty. But it has elastic on both ends, so it fits the car nicely, stays nice and snug, and it's easy to take on and off when you're ready to drive your car. I would highly recommend for indoor use the Covercraft Desktop. And I'll show you the label that's on this one. Here's the other mirror pocket, and here's your label here, Desktop. I wouldn't recommend it for outdoor use. That's not what it's designed for. So indoor, it'll keep your prized car in beautiful condition and protect the paint, finish, and your wax job. This is another Covercraft Desktop car cover. It, as you can see, has little holes in it that allows it to breathe really well. It's a paper type material. I believe it's made by Kimberly-Clark, the paper. But it holds up really well inside. This one I've had for several years. It's on a 67 Mustang. It fits well, it's holding up well, and the interior of the car is nice, free from mold. They give you a driver's side mirror pocket. This one's on a 67 Brittany Blue, and you can see it's really keeping the paint in good condition. I'm happy with that. This particular one has the Mustang logo on the front, which is nice, and they give you a grommet that you can install yourself for the antenna hole here. That's good. They also have grommets here on the bottom to hold it down, but you don't really need that for indoor use. They give you a second passenger side mirror pocket, which is good, and you can see it's keeping my paint in very good condition indoors. So I'm happy with the product. I'd recommend it. The Covercraft Desktop lightweight paper. You can see it has a couple layers. The one against the finish is soft, and the exterior repels dust and any moisture that might be inside, and it breathes, and so it's definitely a good product, and I'm happy with it. Hello, I mentioned that the Desktop was good for indoor use For outside use, you'll have to move up to the Block It. Block, B-L-O-C-K, It, I-T. And this is a 67 Mustang that's outside. And we just had a really strong 4 or 5 days of rain and wind. And you can see I put a strap around the front of it. The long nose on the Mustangs, you don't want to get wind under there that'll balloon up that front piece and lift it up and possibly tear it. You can see that they give you tie downs for the sides, which are good, but they aren't good enough to keep the nose attached in a strong wind. And here you can see here's the label, Block It. I get these from Covercraft. And it's kind of a paper layered material. It's very strong, but I have a couple of issues with these covers for outside. One is the back corners, like here, it's a weak spot, and when the wind blows there's a lot of wear and tear, and gardeners and other people cut the corner and rub against it. So I wish that was more reinforced in the back. And then on this side you can see they don't give you a mirror pocket like they do on the desktop for indoor use. It'd be nice to have another mirror pocket. And then the other weak spot is where the antenna comes through. You can see with the wind blowing how it's starting to tear there. This one's a couple years old. They're guaranteed for 3 years and I'm getting good use out of it. But overall it's holding up. It repels water reasonably well, and also the sun. So I'd recommend this cover. They're not very expensive. But you can see here too where the door handle is. Anybody walking by can rub against that. And it's just paper, and when it gets wet it can tear easily, so I don't take these off when they're wet. I wait till they get good and dry before I try to take it off so it doesn't tear. But you can see it fits pretty well. This one's designed for both a fastback and a coupe. I've got it on a coupe, but it's the same cover. Covercraft Block It 380. It's supposed to be for external use for up to 3 years. This one's on a 66 Mustang. Didn't quite get 3 years out of it. It's in Southern California in the desert, and this is a pretty harsh environment. Gets up to 100 degrees plus for 3 or 4 months out of the year. The first thing that happens is they start to go on the corners. As the wind blows, it rubs. Doesn't take very long for these corners to give. I wish they'd reinforce these. Same thing on the other side. You can see the corner went pretty fast. And then the other thing is rubbing on the antenna grommet. That tore loose pretty quickly. I ended up stitching it, and but that's a weak point. Another place they should reinforce. But you can see after 3 years in the hot sun, it's pretty well gone. It's a paper type material. It gets really brittle and tears really easily in the sun. You can see on the top it's worn through all around. It's pretty much torn and gone. And here in the back you can see how brittle it is. It's kind of like a piece of paper towel after 3 years in the sun. So this one I replaced with the Sunbrella because I just think in the hot sun here in Southern California you need that type of quality instead of the Block It 380. Block It 380, I have another car up in Northern California that I have one on, and it's holding up pretty well. Also, this Block It 380, it does not come with mirror pockets, and also it's made for both the fastback. You can see the line here. It fits fine on the notchback, but they kind of have one size for both the notchback and and the fastback, and they don't give you the mirror pockets. So it's an inexpensive cover. It does okay outside, but I wouldn't recommend it for the desert. Northern California, it's fine. Southern California, Arizona, New Mexico, I wouldn't recommend this cover for outdoors. It gets too much wear and tear from the sun. This is a sunbrella cover, which I have on a 66 Mustang. It comes with dual mirror pockets and grommets on both sides to secure it underneath. In order to keep it from coming off at the front when it's a windy day like it is today, I also put a strap just in front of the windshield. I wish they had a couple more grommets that they put in the front here, that you really need a strap across the top, or put some kind of weight on the front, because when the wind gets under there, it'll pick up any of these covers, and where the antenna hole is, it may tear at that point. This particular cover is made for outside and heavy sun. It's pretty well made. It's cloth and it's well stitched, and you can also get the option of having a logo put on it. In this case, I put the Mustang logo. I wish the Mustang logo was on the top of the hood instead of in the front, where you'd be able to see it better. This is a high quality cover. They're not cheap, but it's supposed to last 3 to 5 years outside, even in heavy sun. So you can see today it's pretty windy, and this strap is holding it on there pretty good. Here's the sunbrella on a pretty rainy day. We're in Southern California, and we only get about 6 inches of rain a year here. So the main purpose of the sunbrella was for sun protection, but it also does a pretty good job against rain. And you can see, even though it's been pretty windy, it's held onto the car very well. And the strap here on the front has kept the front end from filling up with air and blowing off or tearing at the antenna hole. You know, they're not made to be completely waterproof, but it does protect the car, and I'm pretty happy with it. So rain or heavy sun, this sunbrella seems to be holding up pretty well. It fits the car nicely.